Good afternoon, I'm TerryTopcat for TerryTopcat Purrsents. We're in the wonderful Lalo, which is off Goulburn Road, off Portobello Road. It's Tuesday, 28th of March, and I'm with the lovely Erika. How are you, lovely?
I'm really good, thanks, Terry.
So good to see you. So, first of all, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, what you do, what artist that you are, and then how we met, and then I'll talk about your career, wonderful career.
Okay, so my name's Erika. I am an independent or DIY artist. I have been releasing and creating and making music for so many years now, Terry. Yeah, it's just something that I love doing, and it's something that I need to do for me as well, and just for my soul.
Hold it carefully from the start. Keep it close to heal it. Careful not to tear up my paper. Heart, heart, heart. Open up, open heart.
Where we met, did you say? Where did we meet?
Yes.
We met, oh my God, it must be through Skunk Anansie, right?
Well, you're doing actually a solo gig, which was along this road.
Yeah, but wasn't it after I supported them at the Water Rats?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was the Water Rats 2010 or 9 or something like 9.
I think it was, yeah.
God, doesn't time fly?
Or was it 10?
Around that time. So you were supporting the wonderful Skunk Anansie. They were coming back. They did 2 sold-out gigs at Water Rats, which was jam-packed, and rightly so. Great band.
Yeah.
And then I heard that you're an artist in your own right. You play keyboards with Skunk Anansie.
Now I do. Yeah, it wasn't back then. Back then I was just supporting them, so I just did.
Oh, yeah, that's
in
right.
fact, actually, I was doing the first show, and then I got so excited that I blew my voice out, and then the second show. Weirdly, the support band that was meant to be supporting them the second night broke up. So they were like, Erika, do you want to come and do another show? I was like, yes, I want to do another show because I want to prove that I can actually sing. So I ended up doing 2 nights for them, and then I think I had another show, and that's where we met there.
That's right, and you were under the name Imma, so this was one of the CDs you had at the time. And it was very much on a rock tip, and what I love about you, you're a very diverse artist, so there's not many people I have on my phone because I don't really do downloads. I like physical CD or vinyl, which is even better. But then you've got this song called Pop, which is absolutely. I saw you perform that at the Ackland Village. Remember
that? Right.
And I said to your husband Mark, I said, "That's a brilliant song. I love that song." Anyway, so let's go start at the beginning, Erika.
Okay.
So when I saw you support Skunk Anansie, you were Imma. When did you first? When were you first interested in music, or
so
your parents?
So my family was music lovers. My dad played jazz drums, my mum played piano, guitar, sang, just all for fun, not professional. And so we were always listening to music, always listening to vinyl, dancing to vinyl. I used to do ballet and dance from nappies, and typical performer, like, everyone sit down, I'm going to do a show, and also whoever came through the door was going to have a ballet performance from me and my my poor sister that I had roped in every time. So my passion for performing probably started then, and then we'd sing songs and sing along to old records, and I used to listen, I think the main things I'd listen to were Lionel Richie and Kylie Simon, the Beatles, what else, like Georgie Fame. I don't know, I was like, just
music.
Lots of different music. David Bowie, obviously, and it's just always listen to music, and it was always in the house, really. And with my dad being a drummer, he would always work with percussions at the dinner table and little things like that. Yeah.
So which parent of yours is Japanese?
My mum is.
Your mum is Japanese.
Yeah,
so did you go to Japan a lot when you were younger?
Yeah. So when I was 3 years old, I went there with my mum for 3 months and basically forgot English. So I'd only just speak Japanese. But then after that. My Japanese is okay. It's not great, but it's I can get by fine.
But how beautiful the music is in Japan as well. Very different.
It's amazing. It's weird because I've only still just listening now. Like I've only started kind of really delving into that part of my culture sonically. I think I kind of devoured and loved a lot of the pop culture and the art and the film from Japan when I was growing up, rather than, I don't know, it's really hard. Like, I think a lot of mixed people have this kind of crisis with identity. Like growing up in the 80s with a Japanese mum and a British Irish dad, and just kind of really also like 80s and 90s as well, and everyone's kind of breaking free from a lot of kind of traditional norms, and I think having a very kind of strict dad who was like born in the 40s to like, and a mum from Japan, you know, who's actually very kind of liberal and open, but still having a lot of the kind of the constraints of being Japanese and being the good immigrant, you know, in a new country, and how we want to kind of be seen as well was always kind of put upon us. So I think there was a lot of pushback from me. Like, I rebelled quite hard growing up when I was kind of from 13 onwards, and, you know, ran away from home and delved into drugs in quite a big way, and it was all just me trying to figure out who the hell I was and where I fit in. And like, I went to a private school, but both my parents, you know, my dad's very much working class, and my mum, even though she I think she was, I don't know, upper class, I don't know, in Japan, there was a class system in Japan actually, but she was from a wealthy family in Japan, but when she moved here, she was working, so, you know, it was all new to her as well, and so we didn't have any kind of like spare money because everything went to the school, and I think even that kind of like not fitting in with the people at school and not figuring out, it was just so much going on for me, and I just didn't really understand like where I was. So actually music was something, and performance is something that I really found kind of consolidation in, and it just helped me fit in. I think when I was 13 I joined the English National Opera, so I auditioned at school.
Oh, wow.
I auditioned at school. My school music teacher was like, you should try for it, and so I got it, and we did 6 months with the E&O, and that was it. I fell in love with music and singing. Before it was always been dance, and just fell in love with it, and fell in love with theatre, fell in love with like meeting other people, singing with other people, boys.
And that's been quite constant in your career, singing with other people and collaborating.
Totally, collaborating and also just exploring, and just, you know, kind of going back to your main point, I think, of like being, you know, interchangeable with my sound. Again, it all stems down to me still trying to figure out who I am and explore the different parts of me that I feel need exploring. So like, I did opera when I was 13, and then musical theatre because that seemed like the obvious way to go, and then didn't really know, so ended up doing bits and pieces and singing in soul bands, and then I went and studied at a music college in Guildford, and then decided I wanted to be in a metal band. So actually Imma is a metal, new metal band, and then.
How important was it for the college? Was it having a structure there and meeting other students?
Yeah.
Did that really beneficial for you as an artist?
Yeah, I have to say, I think, like I said before, because I was still like trying to figure out who I was, going to music college just helped me find something that I love doing. Like the year before, I mean, I was an absolute wreck. I mean, I was off my face all the time. Just trying to figure it all out and find some freedom in my life, and actually not weirdly, but when I went to the music college, I just stopped everything because I actually was really enjoying what I was doing. You know, I was every day learning music, every day learning songs, every day discovering more stuff about my voice. And I found real pleasure in that. And I still find pleasure in my voice and exploring it and trying new things out. And it's my paintbrush. You know, it's how I'm able to be expressive, and how I can, you know, explore how my vocals are changing even with age as well. Like, you know, how my voice sounded when I was 20 to 20 years later, and like just turned 40 last year. And, you know, my voice sounds so different. But it's learning to love the different stages of which your voice comes at, and it's exploring it. And I think as a creative, it's really, really exciting, actually.
So when did you start writing so you obviously, do you learn the piano as well?
Yeah.
So when did you start writing songs, and when did you start being a DIY artist from the beginning to suddenly to be a backing singer for Mika? And at that time it was pretty huge, and the difference between being your own artist and a backing singer, but also absorbing all those wonderful experiences, performing to all those crowds, working with him, travelling, all the benefits of being an artist on the road.
Okay, so I started writing at 13, and then I stopped for a long, long time because, as I said, I was going on spirals. And then when I went to music college, I restarted writing again, and then I just never stopped. It's weird, actually. The drug taking stopped and the writing started. I wonder why. Processing my emotions, Terry. Yeah, so I think. And I think that's really helped me actually to kind of understand how I fit in the world and everything, and just make sense of me, for me as well. So I was with Imma. So The Finger was the first metal band, and then it turned to Imma. And then I wanted to record an album. And so in 2009, I recorded a full album. And then I supported Skunk that same year or a year later. But I kind of ran out of money. I'd put all my money and all my energy into making an album, and being a DIY artist, it's literally just like, you do your job, you put it into your music, and you make a CD. And back then in 2009, it was mainly punk bands doing it, really. It wasn't really kind of rock bands or kind of, I don't know, like pop bands or anything doing this independent sound, which we hear so much of now. So it was a real kind of like, me and my mate Laura, she was doing it with me. And
I remember Laura, nice lady,
yeah. And so she was my manager at the time, and we were in there together doing it and trying to figure it out and figure out how to release stuff. And so I released it, and then I ran out of money. And I was like, how the hell am I going to promote it? Like, what do I do to like get it out for people to hear? And then weirdly, a week later, I got a phone call from a musical director, MD, who said, Mika's looking for a backing singer. Would you be up for it? And I was like, okay, universe, this is a weird way to get my music out, but why not? Okay. I'd never thought to be a backing singer. Obviously, I love singing. And I said, sure. So 2 weeks later, I was on a tour to America with him. So the audition process was literally just an interview, we were chatting away, just making sure I wasn't a dick. And then
or him.
Yeah.
Because it works both ways.
That's true, but he's paying me money.
Well, I know, but you got to enjoy it.
I needed the money for the album.
It makes it more.
Yeah, totally. I mean, music is a passion, but we can't lie to ourselves. It's a business too.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the truth is that like, we need to talk about that more, because I don't think artists ask. I know we've gone on another tangent, sorry, but
no, but we'll get to that.
I don't think artists ask for money enough, because I don't think it's seen as something that is worth anything anymore, and that is directly from the industry. Everyone's like, stream for free, stream for this, and it's like, it costs so much money. If people knew how much money it costs to actually make a record, and the
effort, blood, sweat, and tears,
and totally, and the kind of the commitment, and the it's just. It takes a lot, and so I did go in, with the thought process that, I'm sure I'll meet a lot of people on the road and our new adventures, and he wasn't a dick, thankfully, and if it really got too much, then I would have backed out. But I needed the money, I really did. So I just said yeah, and I'm so glad I did, because I got to travel the world. We
went big shows as well.
Massive shows, yeah.
And TV as well.
Yeah, big TV shows in the States, and I'm in France, Europe, everywhere. So I'm really, really grateful. And I think one of the things I absolutely loved about working with Mika, having done only independent music before, also I was in a punk band as well, the Itchy Tits, and so it was just like all DIY. So to go and see a massive scale of like big lorries and trucks and whole teams and tour buses, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing, like what? And just seeing that side of things was really eye-opening, and got me really interested in, and actually quite passionate about touring as well. So I toured with Mika for 3 years, and then in between Mika I was still releasing, in fact this EP, the Good Girls and Bad Boys EP, was funded by Mika, so thank you, Mika. Just released that, mid-cycle as well, and did an amazing tour. We did a crowdfunding campaign, and managed to tour Europe with my band and did a tour with this, and yeah, it was amazing.
And how did you go? So tell me about, obviously you're married to Mark from Skunk Anansie, the amazing drummer. So tell me how that, I mean, okay, so as we both know, especially in the rock world, there's not many female-fronted bands and many females in rock, but Skin is the best. The best UK. So it must be great, one, for another female on the road, because you're pretty tight, you perform really well together. So tell everybody how that happened. You got to work with Skunk Anansie. Obviously, Mark's your husband, but how they wanted to beef up their sound. And
yeah, sure. So it was on the Black Traffic album. I got a call from Mark going, what are you doing this afternoon? And I was like, nothing. Well, I was doing stuff, but you're going to say nothing, aren't you? And he was like, do you want to come and do some backing vocals on this record? Because we just need like a big kind of choral sound. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure. So I went over and went in the studio and I sang the part. And then Skinny was like, did you sing? I was like, yeah, I sung. Are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I sang. And then we listened back and our vocals blended so well that it was like an old glove fitting on our hand. And it was just like, oh, cool. And, and because Skin's voice is so unique,
absolutely,
it's quite weird actually that we're kind of, I was going to say related, but by musical family, and that it worked, and so we were like, okay, cool. And then Skin was like, Mark, how do you feel about taking your wife on tour? Because not everyone wants to take their wife on tour. So, or husband. And so, they asked me to come and play keys on the acoustic tour.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I was there for the filming of the acoustic album. That was great. So, you travel a lot, especially in Italy and Europe with this amazing band, and Rimini with the Skunk Army, hi to all of them. So you've done some studio work with them, but live is like, you know, and also you play keyboards, you feature a lot, and the interaction between you and Skinny, I'll call her, is amazing.
Yeah.
Not just vocally, but just in terms of how you vibe off each other and dance together.
Well,
and
she's amazing. I mean, literally, I was used to coming from a very session world, you know, with Mika.
Course,
like, you know, I know I'm a big performer, and I know as a session player, I believe that, well, I thought that there was this like, okay, you're the artist and I need to kind of, like with Mika, I was running around the stage as well, but, you know, it was always in moments, I'd always wait for him to bring me out. It was never just you go out and fill the space. It was like, okay, he's giving me, you know, come on. I'm like, okay, cool, it's time for me to come out and give him a hand, basically.
Or shine.
Or shine, exactly, But with Skin, she'd just be like, what are you doing? Just fucking get out here. You don't wait for me, just get out there, go on. And
that's nice.
What is amazing is that she is so supportive and so encouraging. Like, again, I don't believe there is a lot of other women that would feel comfortable to share the stage as much as she does with another woman, you know. And I think it really goes to show the sisterhood that she encourages on tour, and also to encourage other musicians and artists to shine.
But you're the same. You're exactly the same. But yeah, she is amazing like that. And there's, you know, there's a few artists I can say, like Courtney Love's amazing like that. And there's
true.
You know, there's lots of female artists. Well, I think it's brilliant. You know, I'm a gay man, and I just see all these other female artists with the sisterhood, and they're giving a hand out or giving them advice. And
you know what, actually, maybe my comment is not a reality. Maybe that's more the patriarchy believing that that's what it should be, actually. Thank you, Terry, for shining that light on me. Yeah.
But I just think whenever another artist, especially an established one or one who's already doing things, I'm going to come on to Sofa Sounds and talk about Natalie Lindy and also your involvement with ICMP.
Yeah.
So I think you're fantastic too. That you only Skin isn't the maestro of helping female artists also. You do the same. So we'll talk quickly about Brexit. So quickly about Brexit and your involvement in the college, and tell everyone what you do at the college and how we met Natalie, and Natalie was one of your students.
That's
correct?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Brexit first, you say?
Yeah. Okay. Brexit, sorry.
So no, it's fine. So Brexit. I mean, I was really adamant to not leave the EU just having travelled so much and intensely throughout Europe, and the kind of the people you meet along the way, the other creatives that you meet along the way, and the supporters of music as well. All of my tours have been in Europe and the UK, and as an independent artist, the first tour was funded by a crowdfunder, so, you know, I broke even. The second one wasn't funded by a crowdfunder, and I lost money. The second one, again, I lost some money, but not a lot. The third one, I broke even. The last one, I started to make a bit of money. And this is all paying musicians as well. So, like,
yeah, of course.
So, you know, and then when Brexit came, I was like, there is no way that I'm going to be able to afford this. You know, you need to buy carnet, you need to, at that time as well, at the beginning, there was potential of having to buy visas for everyone. Thankfully, the MU and many incredible artists have really fought hard to make sure that we have a certain amount of time that we can play visa-free. But still not great, because even if I did that tour, say for 2 months, and then Skunk Anansie tour comes for 3 months, I'm not going to be able to do, 30 days of the Skunk Anansie tour, because it's only limited to 90 days. So, you know, there's some real issues, and a lot of my friends, especially session musicians that jump off one tour and move on to another tour, you know, they've lost out on half of their income because they're not able to tour and get on another tour. You know, if you can't, the session word's cutthroat. You know, if you can't jump on the first 2 weeks of a tour, it's like, okay, we'll get someone else in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and where it's a great opportunity for other musicians, the people that have really worked hard with that relationship for that band have lost out as well. So it's difficult. Yeah, it's
So
not,
what did you
not
do?
great.
So, okay, you teach as a performance tutor at ICMP, which is in London or Guildford?
Kilburn.
In Kilburn.
Yeah, just round the corner.
Right.
Yeah, Northwest.
So tell everyone what you do and the classes involve.
So when I left, when Mika changed his band in 2012, I was kind of at a bit of a loss, and I didn't really know what to do, and because I had a whole summer of festivals that I was supposed to be doing, but then my mate who worked at ICMP called me and was like, one of our friends is on maternity leave, do you want to step in for her? So I stepped in and I started teaching performance there and vocal technique and lots of other things. And now I've been there for 10 years and I now teach performance. I lecture on performance and songwriting, arranging for all multi-instrumentalists, and that's where I met the amazing Natalie Lindy, who you met. Yeah, incredible, right? Yeah.
Well, they have these wonderful things called sofa sounds, where it's very intimate. A lot of your shows are intimate, and artists you check out is called Tim Arnold. His album's called Super Connection. I know it's all about connecting with you. I'll tell you about that later, but. Yeah, so it's really intimate. I saw Natalie, you were amazing, and everyone, there's a few Skunk fans and a lot of your fans are there, and it was quite small and intimate, which I love. And then Natalie just got up and sang a bit, and I was just like, wow, who's that? And yeah, amazing artist.
Exactly, yeah. So during lockdown, I started a songwriting circle called the Creative Courage Circle.
That's it, yes.
And so the Creative Courage Circle it first started as an evening for women, which I like to call a pussy storm.
I love that.
And so it was the chance for women to meet up in a place where you have no feedback and you just hold that space to be heard. And it was actually created and curated by an activist called Cleo Wade. And one of the formats is the trilogy. And you ask 3 questions. And the first one is, what is your brag? So say how amazing you are. Which is difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The second is, what are you grateful for? And the last question is kind of setting your intention, is what do you desire for yourself? So it's not, I think a lot of the time women or people tend to think of an extension of friends and family or the world, or and not actually hone in on what they want for themselves. So it's kind of setting an intention for yourself and leaving that circle, and no feedback. So you're just like, I hear you, you deserve it, so it shall be, and that's it.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So I did that with some friends of mine and created a few women's circles, and then I actually did a songwriting circle at ICMP, and it was for International Women's Day. And I took it.
How great!
Yeah, I took it over to the person hosting, and I said, "Look," or holding them, and I said, "Would you be open if I did this women's circle at the same time as the songwriting circle?" And she was like, "Yeah, do it." And I did it, and it was great, and it made me go, okay, let's do this. So the Creative Courage Circle was born, and I started during lockdown, essentially because I wanted to connect with other creatives and keep playing music as well, and also entertaining people. That's something I've done for such a long time. So it just felt natural to go online and do it that way. And yeah, we did one every month for nearly 2.5 years. And it's only this last couple of months that I'm just having a little pause and kind of rethinking what we're going to do, because once we were all able to open up, we actually moved to a live venue in Guildford called the Boiler Room.
So, we've been to the Boiler Room.
There you go.
I love that. Yeah. Great music scene, and I have to say, in Guildford.
Yeah, it's a great music scene.
Yeah, I love it.
Great art scene. And
the Boiler Room is nice. I saw the English beat there. It was like, there's sweat all over the place. It was brilliant.
It's a proper venue.
I love it. And they've got a little record shop at the back, and she's lovely, the lady in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the Boiler Room. So I want to give a big shout out quickly as well, because I'm sure Skinny knows her as well, and she works at ICMP. Is Catherine Ann Davies, who's Anchoress. Don't know if you know, she's a Welsh artist. It's very much like Kate Bush, but she's really cool. And I was looking at
never met her.
Have you not? You should.
I really want to.
Awesome. I know she knows Skinny, so you should, because she's lovely as well. I've never met her in person, but I've chatted to her online, and great artist.
Okay.
So what are you up to now? Obviously, we got the gig tonight at Laylo. You're on at 7:45.
Yeah.
And we got the wonderful Echoes afterwards. So
That's right.
tell us about new music, tonight's gig, if you're playing your new songs, and where people can find you on social media.
Okay, sure. So tonight's gig is going to be a combination of old and new songs. So I'm actually trying 3 new songs tonight. You're going to hear them tonight. Chasing Shadows, 1,000 Paper Cranes, and my first song I've written in Japanese, which is Kuchisabushi.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, I actually wrote it for... so I got asked to do a top line for Desperate Housewives.
Okay.
They're doing like it's for the American one.
They're doing a new series, or they're doing?
It just came out in America this week, actually.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful.
And they're doing like an Asia trip, so they asked all like East Asian artists to top line writing in their mother tongue. So at the time, it was really nice. I got to kind of check my grammar with my mum, who was actually in hospital at the time. So it was really sweet that we were kind of doing things together and kind of writing the song together in a way, which was really lovely. Yeah. And it was quite a raunchy song, so my mum was like, "Ooh!" So yeah, I hope she enjoyed it. She said she did. So yeah, those 3 songs are going to be playing tonight, and I'll be definitely be releasing 1,000 Paper Cranes and Chasing Shadows in the next couple of months. And I just did a video for Chasing Shadows this week as well. So yeah,
wonderful.
Lots of new music coming out, which I'm really excited about.
I just want to say thank you so much. It was so interesting. You know, I see you and we see you at gigs, hi, and having a quick picture and say hi, and you're always so lovely to all of us, all our Skunk Army and all your fans of your own music. But it's really lovely to get in-depth chat with you, and really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Looking forward to tonight. So this is TerryTopcat for TerryTopcat Purrsents for Clusterview.com with the wonderful Erika. Be purring soon on social media. Thank you.
Thank you.